Greetings. Welcome to Safe Space Talks Mind Mastery one more time and again. And I'm your host, your good girlfriend, Nigeria Anderson. And today we're going to talk about don't avoid conflict. You're going to have to be confrontational this year and season for your life for you to mature and grow and be able to defend yourself. A lot of us, we can defend our family, our siblings, our parents. And then when it comes to us, we act like, you know, I don't want. But let someone bother any of your family, your good friend, you all rah rah rah. But you gonna have to be rah 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 about you too. Okay, so let's get into it. Don't avoid conflict. Fear is the key reason why most people do not like to be confrontational. I understand it, especially if trauma is attached to a time or a place when the person may have attempted to confront someone and was put down or dismissed. Because, I always say, we can't dismiss people, but people like to dismiss people. And especially if they're saying something they feel like is meaningless and they can be very dismissive. Now, of course, you must use wisdom when being confrontational. Today, I want to talk about protecting your mind and heart and being ready to be confrontational, especially with the familiar people in your circle and in your life, because those are the people who are more likely to take advantage of you, take advantage of your kindness and your vulnerability. I know, I know. I told you I'm going to give y'all the truth every time I'm on here. And it may even be the person who who is associated with the trauma. The molestation, the disrespect, the abuse. Someone and now you see them, they're in your family, they at the family picnic and you're shriveling up or you don't want to go. They can't have that much power over you. So we're going to straighten it out today. And one thing I realized is that fear and trauma, they like cousins. So I'm going to help you today to be, you're going to have to be the older cousin and tell your younger cousins to relax. Okay, you're going to have to be like, relax. I'm in charge. I'm in charge here. And we know fear is not always a negative thing, it's a natural response. However, fear not checked becomes crippling and you won't move, you won't respond, you won't do nothing. And by not moving, how can you thrive? How can you grow and prosper? So here's a thought. Let's remind ourselves that fear is a natural response to protect us from unsafe people, places, and things. Like I say, those nouns. But don't let fear stop you from addressing a matter. So, how to confront a matter? When you do not address an issue that has upset you, you will begin to deal with remorse and you will become unsettled in your spirit because you didn't address it. And the Holy Spirit talking about, go tell them that you didn't like that. You say something, you like, no. You may feel anxious. It may disturb your sleep, which is very, dangerous. So sometimes when you can't sleep, is it something that you need to address that you didn't address? Think about that. Okay? Or you might begin to live in resentment or lose respect for yourself. And though I talk to men and women, the losing respect and resentment particularly will fall upon men. They will go into this place of, having resentment and losing respect for themselves as a man. They like, I'm a man, I should be able to do this. But, silently, yes, yes, and mental health affects everybody. So, yes, our brothers, our men. And prolonging conflict is avoiding conflict. So that putting it off, no, I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I'll say something this day, and then you don't do it. Now you are being bullied because you're not speaking up. Now let's be clear. I'm not saying run up on people you disagree with or who may have said something about you behind your back. I'm not saying that. What I'm promoting is to be civil and address the matter. So you don't have to ruminate all day about what you should have done and I should have said this and I don't know why I didn't say this and now you talking to somebody and you got them involved saying I should have said this and they telling you how you should have said something. No, 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 no. Okay? We got to be civil. That's a civil about confronting people about matters that hurt us. Again, here at Safe Space Talks My Mastery, what we talk about trauma, what causes trauma, how to identify trauma, and the maintenance that is required with trauma that nobody tells you about, but we talk about it here. Now, when you don't confront matters, you may end up suffering in silence. And we don't want that. By doing that, you're going to spiral down a rabbit hole you cannot get out of. And one thing they teach in leadership about conflict and resolution is it's okay to have a witness. Therefore, if you want to confront someone about something they said or it hurt you, feel free to bring someone with you. Again, don't roll up like y'all want to fight. Give some distance and just say, hey, can we talk? And pull them to the side. Okay, so they don't feel like you're trying to embarrass them. And you can simply just say, I did not like when you A, B, and C. And it made me feel like A, B, and C. And do you know, this is the truth 99% of a matter when one person out of the situation may feel hurt, it may have been due to a misunderstanding. Yet many of y'all just be walking around angry, sad, upset, depressed. And had you just confronted the person, example, what do you mean by that? Or why did you say that? Remember, here we teach you to ask second and third level questions. Why? Because nobody can read your mind. Okay? And everybody got things on their mind, right? So someone may say something and they don't explain themselves. And then you want to hold that like they just said that and I don't even know why. Right. You know why you don't know why? Because you ain't asked. You didn't you didn't ask. All right. So, like I said, no one can read your mind. So, when you don't know or you want to know, for the most part, you got to ask the question. Open your mouth and ask in a kind manner, not saying anything and being upset is silly. You're just being silly. Again, we don't coochie coo here on the page. You're being silly. Now you mad and angry for no reason. Absolutely no reason except the reason that's in your head going against whatever their response was. Simply because you did not open up your mouth to say. May I ask you why did you say that? Or may I ask you what made you change your mind? Or well, when would be a good time to discuss or would you have available that we can get together, what have you? You got to ask the questions. Yet, many will walk away just somber and feeling all emotional and hurt for no reason. Because I'm going to tell you, we talk about how you add to your trauma. That's one way to add to your trauma by ignorance and ignoring things that you need to address. You helping yourself be all upset for no reason. Had you just asked why, they would have given you a response, whether it was good, bad, or indifferent. At least you would know for sure, because outside of asking, as I like to say, you don't have enough information. You don't even have enough information to be upset or mad. So that's why I say you're mad for no reason. Now, If someone in the plight of being confrontational says, I don't want to talk about it, your confrontation is finished. Okay, respect it, but return at a later date and say, hey, can I just, talk to you about situation A, B, and C? Again, you can explain to them, I was just concerned about you. And if you are concerned about someone, you say it. You can say, I wanted to know if there was any way I could help. Because people need help, but they don't think you want to help. You want to help, but you don't use the word. If there was any way I could help. Again, people can't read your mind. We can't just guess that, oh, you might want to help. You have to learn to use your words. The problem that is among us is that people don't want to have the unpleasant conversations. And you got to stop that. You got to stop that. That's why I'm here to help you. You got to talk about it. And simply because people do not know how to communicate. So, they don't want to say nothing because they don't really know how to communicate. Next, I want you to be invested in yourself, your well being, your values, your core values, respect for yourself, and maintaining your dignity. Be invested. When you're invested in your well being, you have to be able to confront the matter and overcome the fears. For some, the fear of confrontation might create emotions of rejections or altercations. Remember, I told you, don't roll up on people like, oh, you said this. Don't do that. We're not talking about that. What's the word I gave you? We're to be civil. All right. Um, it's not always, but I'm just giving that as an example because the event and the circumstance may trigger the emotions of anxiousness. When you begin to have these feelings, this is what I need you to do. Ask yourself, what are you afraid of? And this is universal. Whenever you feel fear, ask yourself, what are you afraid of? Is it that you won't get or hear what you want to hear? Is that why you don't want to say anything? Are you afraid that the person will get angry and stop speaking to you? Then I want you to answer yourself. Yes, I said answer yourself. Maybe you could write this down on a piece of paper before you confront the individual. And then I want you to write out your response. This is problem solving 101. This is the universal language of how you become a better version of yourself. These tools, they work. I've used them. I'm here to tell you. If you confront the individual, their response will dictate the foundation of your relationship. Is it on soft ground or is it on solid ground? And if an individual does not respond in a positive way, so be it. I know. You're like, it's easier said than done. But yes, the person may reject you, but at least you leave feeling better that you got it off your chest. Listen, if a person cares anything about you, there will be a resolve. And if a person leaves you or stops speaking to you, guess what? Here's the hard truth. That person was not invested in you as much as you may have been invested in them. Period. Point blank. Let me tell you something, people. People are selfish. They have their own ambitions. They have their own agendas. And by being confrontational in, certain circumstances, this is when you find out. This is when you find out who they are. And again, I don't care what position they have, CEO, the janitor, PhD, high school diploma, you will discover who that person is when you're confrontational with somebody, and these are the responses they may give you. They may be like, oh no, I didn't mean that, that wasn't my intent. Or they may be like, I don't want to talk to you no more, blah 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 blah, and just abandon the situation. But if you answer the questions that I gave you before, what is your fear, and you map that all out, and you may have some resentment of being rejected, you may have some resentment of being abandoned issues, all kinds of issues, because let me tell you, you have your own issues. This is why I sit here and explain, and we have to be compassionate about people, and we have to, you know, um, allow people to go through their emotions. But remember, here's a word: I apologize. I'm sorry. That was not my intent. When you don't hear people say that, or I missed it, I'm sorry. You people who don't know how to say that, y'all know I get upset about that. So let me move on. Let me move on. But if you speak up for yourself and the other person takes offense or gets upset with you, just know it has nothing to do with you. That's one. That is on that person who is dealing with their own insecurities, their own issues. And now it's exposed. See, being confrontational will help you expose some things about the people you think you know. You don't know. I be telling people that 90-day fiance thing got y'all tripping. No, you don't know this person. All right, another key problem I have noticed. Most people thrive on being validated. And y'all know how I feel. I do not deal with the court of public opinion. I have my own opinion in truth and righteousness. And most people don't have an opinion. And then there's others who have too much of an opinion. But let me say this. An opinion without truth is just an opinion. I'm going to let that sit. Just let that marinate. You'll get it by the end of this show. Control. Control. When you do not confront matters that affect you in an emotional way and get you all unraveled, you are giving others control over you. And let me tell you, once they see they can control you, you are in trouble. They will begin to mishandle you. They will be verbally abusive to you. They will dismiss your thoughts and feelings like, oh my goodness, you don't even exist. Ask me how I know. Yeah, go on. Go in the comment and ask me how I know. I'll answer. Go ahead. Say, Nigeria, how you know? But let me tell you, this is their trauma punching your trauma in the face. Okay. Things I just let sit. All of this dysfunction is happening to both of you. It's happening to both of you. Why? Because no one has addressed the matter. This person who feels like they're in control, dismissing you and acting like your feelings do not exist, and you not confronting the issue, so now you're suffering, feeling like, very anxious all the time, can't sleep, can't eat, can't, you're all out of pocket because you won't address it. You're going to have to address it. The only way is to confront the bully. Again, if you need someone, right, you bring them. And when you speak with the bully, you ask to go in another room. So, like I said, they don't feel like you're trying to embarrass them in front of your friend or the mutual friend, what have you. But if you need some help because they're getting out of pocket, you can at least yell help, and they can call. They are to, if you say help, the first thing they're to do is call 911, tell them where they at and what's going on, and then come in there and help you. Okay, that's the code. Y'all got that? You call 911. You don't just run. Call 911. Tell them where the incident is, and then go help. And y'all do what y'all gotta do. Y'all everybody gotta do what they gotta do. All right, so then you speak with the bully, and it's either gonna go well or it's not. But again, you have to, build up your confidence. Or you can, if you don't have a good friend, and I keep telling y'all gotta have some friends, but y'all could call me, y'all could email me, I'll be your friend, I tell you. Um, you can go to a public place, you can go to the park where it's open and you don't feel confined. And you yell for help, whatever. Prayerfully, people won't take their phones out and start filming, but we'll use it to call 911 to help you out. No matter what, let this be the year you get from under that rock of, I don't want to say anything. I just don't want to say anything. I need you to look in your circle of family and friends and choose someone who you feel you can talk to with no judgment but wisdom. Find the person in your circle who has wisdom, not just going to tell you what you want to hear. I need that person to have wisdom to tell you what you need to do, tell you if you were wrong, okay? To give you a proper response, give you good counsel, not the coochie coochie coo counsel. It's too many coochie coochie coo counseling people, because they're in their mind too. I don't want to hurt. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to hurt their feelings. That's why we're in the situation, and the world is in the situation that it's in. Cause don't nobody want to hurt nobody. Can't nobody obey Christ because nobody want to offend. I don't want to offend them. I have some things to say, but let me stay on pocket. Self control is a fruit of the Spirit. And you have to pay attention to that. People who do not have self control are dangerous, period. Pay attention to that. They're dangerous to themselves and they're dangerous to others. Go look at the video, two videos before this one. Now, you do not have to subject yourself to others' poor behaviors. Don't give them that control. You can also, if you don't have no friend, you don't want to see them in you don't want to see them face to face, you don't want to go to a public place, you don't want to go to the park, guess what else you can do? You can write a letter. And you can let it all out. Honey, if the letter going to be 20 pages, it'll be 20 pages. Okay? Get it out. Send it to them. The key is the key is to not let a person control you. You're going to have to gain control of your own self. You are responsible for your well-being and you have to take it seriously. That's why I be on here cuz I need you stop. You got to take it seriously. So if someone says something that hurts you or you didn't like it, to make sure you didn't misunderstand, ask, what did you mean by that statement? Or let them know what you just said to me was offensive. That might not have been their intent. Or you just push pause button on not allowing an individual to become your bully. But it's all up to you. It's all up to you. You have to decide how you're going to allow people to treat you. From your mama, your daddy, your sister, brother, your cousin, your best friend. You know, I don't do a lot of what I used to do. And I am, congratulations to all my friends who've allowed me to grow and mature. I appreciate y'all. But they don't tease me or be like, oh, you saved now. You don't do that. They've become like, nah, don't, nah, she don't even get down like that. Oh, no, 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 I don't even have to say nothing. And guess what? They come to me when they're in a crisis or a situation now. And they know I'm going to give them wisdom. I'm going to tell them what's right to do. They have clarity. They understand. They've seen my maturity. They've seen my growth. So they know, like, you know what? Let me ask Nah. You only can say that if you've known me over 20 years. Do not call me Nah. No, I'm only joking. I'm only joking. Um, but they'll be like, yo, Nah, what's up? I gotta ask you about something. And I've trained them. Like, if it's something urgent or whatever the case, they will say, I have to share with you. And boom, I'll stop everything I'm doing because that's the code word of this is urgent. This not just regular, I need to share. Get a language with your people. You know, and you know what? If we're not helping each other, if we're not helping each other grow and, prosper, then like we shouldn't even be friends. That's for real. Like it's no way we friends for, and I got friends well over 20, 40 years, 45 years. And I've seen them grow. They've seen me grow, and we're still friends, and I love it. But if I didn't see any maturity or growing, I'm not gonna be a friend. I'm just not gonna be your friend. That's just the truth. Well, I hope this helps someone listening. Again, if you need additional support, resources, or help, you can email me at safespacetalks@gmail.com. And let me tell you guys, this season 4 done came and went because there's only one more Wednesday to this month, and then I'm on vacation and we'll be working on season 5. So, I mean, I can't wait to go on a much needed vacation. I thank my team for suggesting 3 months and 3 months because that 6 and 7 months and talking about these things were weighing on me. And so I can't teach you guys how to take care of yourself if I don't know how to take care of myself and say, hey, pause, time out. I'm burning out. So we can't do this. And plus, you guys don't even know half of the stuff I do outside of this. So to not burn out, you know, next week could be the last week until I go on vacation. But what I want you to do is, go back and look at some of the older videos because there's always a gem in the message. I'm not, and as y'all notice, I don't promote, what I'm maybe talking about, who I do, who I'm talking to. But as you watch the videos this season, you notice I did some plugs and to talk about some people who didn't need to know I was talking about them. But if they find out, my number is 914-222-3342. And you can feel free to call me or email me. Ain't no thing but a chicken wing. I do know how to communicate very well. I don't cuss, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, so it ain't that kind of party. I just know how to communicate very well. Yeah, sitting in front of the camera though, that's not my thing, but hey, it is what it is. I still do it because it's an assignment from God. So again, please catch up on some of the older, watch some of the older videos, and I mean, just here helping. Again, thank you for the sharing. Subscribe, share, and like. And thank you guys. Just thank you for listening to me. You don't have to, but you do. And I see the numbers increasing. So, hey, that's a good thing because I hope, like I said, it may not mean you watch this and you're like, oh, I know that, because we so quick to be like, I know that. But if you share it, it may be one of your friends who don't know, and you will be helping them because people who are not confrontational sometimes suffer major depression, have suicide ideations, may complete it, may not, or because they didn't say something, that abuser, that person who's in control, feels like they're so in control and taking advantage of the individual who don't say nothing, sometimes it leads to death. Yeah, I got to tell you the truth. And so you have people, you got a million followers, whatever, and you post this or you share this. It may be someone suffering in silence who needs to hear this, or someone who's going through it. Because y'all swear your friends tell y'all everything and they don't. You think you know everybody's business, but you don't. And you can honestly be helping someone who is in need. And this is why I do this. We have the resources, we have the help. So that's my time. See you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. I'm super excited. If you have any topics you may want me to discuss, please just email me and let me know. We will do that. And I love me some y'all.